And then like the next bit that I'm building, hopefully nearly done, is like an AI problem solver. At the moment, you can like post a project.
Yeah.
That's fine if you've got like a fairly decent idea of what you're looking for, like time scale, maybe budget, maybe like a bit of deliverables. Or you can just like search and filter for consultants and like try and find the person that you're looking for. But the thing I realize is like sometimes you don't have a specific project, and you also don't know the type of person you need. You've just got a pain point that you can't. You can say, this is the thing that's hurting my business, or this is the problem that's irritating me. You don't actually know what the solution is. Like, it's almost like a diagnostics tool where you can literally say, we don't sell enough gift vouchers.
Yeah.
Or you can put 7 paragraphs in. AI will basically like scan the entire marketplace and say, okay, these are the people that are really suited to you.
Welcome to Captive Conversations, brought to you by Captive Wi-Fi. I'm your host, Adam Foreman. This podcast brings you the best stories from suppliers, marketers, and operators from our beloved hospitality sector. Now, let's get on with the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Captive Conversations, episode 93. We have Pete Hurley here. So from a few different places, so I'll let you talk about that in a bit. But thank you for coming and diverting your route into London. We got there in the end, which is good. We've spoken for a while now, actually. So it's nice to have you on and talk about what you're doing. And I'm loving the community that you're building. So we'll talk about that in a bit as well. So it's, I think, really just, it's nice listening, reading messages of just not of like, oh, I want to go to a restaurant here. Who suggests? Well, and it's more direct. It's like people helping each other, which is really nice to see. We had Claire Reid on last, and her opening questions were, hospitality often feels quite behind other sectors in all sorts of ways. How do you think we can catch up?
Yeah, I think being more collaborative. So like, I think firstly probably from a tech point of view, it's getting better now. Integrations, people are like, platforms are talking to each other more. I still don't think it's probably at the same place as other industries. But I think from a collaborative point of view, definitely like tech platforms everything just needs to integrate. Everything needs to talk to each other. You know what it's like. Yeah. Like operators have this headache still today. It's been, when I was an operator, we never got everything talking to each other, and I just think it can't be that complicated, and everyone wins. So I think a collaboration is a big part of it, and then probably also just being a bit more agile and a bit more nimble. So like any ways that, hospitality businesses can be quite sort of big, sort of cumbersome beasts, since the headcount that you need to run them, the capex, and I think the more that we can be nimble and agile, and obviously come to our season, part of my idea behind that was to make the sort of senior staffing a bit more agile. I think that's gonna help. You see it happening in a lot of other industries, and given where hospitality is at the moment, I think those would be my two things that I think that we could do. It's like loyalty. Every brand's got its own loyalty thing, and they're building up these, like databases of loads of rich information on their customers. But from the customer point of view, I don't want 7 different loyalty apps. I just want one. So like me and you is a good example of like people who are, I think, quite forward thinking on that bit. Like have like a universal approach to loyalty. I think that could be, game changer, because everybody wins. Everyone gets, you get to see the full sort of customer profile, I suppose.
Yeah. What would you say to someone thinking of starting a career in hospitality?
Yeah, I would say go for it. I mean, obviously it's, tough times at the moment. Financially, there's like, you're probably, it's not going to be a career for life in one place, but maybe that's not what people want these days. But I think like now more than ever, if you start in hospitality, I think you can go in different directions with it. Like you're no longer, if you're a chef, you're just stuck in the kitchen. That's your job for life. I was talking to someone the other day who's a hospitality tech consultant, and they were a chef for like 10 years. Like they started in the kitchen and now they're consulting hospitality tech. So it's like, and that's not that uncommon. I think when you talk to people who have had a career in hospitality, loads of them have been in loads of different places. So I think it's it's a really good place where you can go lots of different directions. It's a place where you can, if you're entrepreneurial, I think our old business, I remember our business partner, we sat down once, I think we counted 15 people who had worked for us left and gone on to start businesses. Like I'm pretty sure all of them are hospitality businesses, little outside catering things, or like a brownie business, or like a food YouTuber and stuff. So it's like you can, if you're entrepreneurial, I think you can go quite far in a few different directions. So yeah, I'd say I'd go for it, and it gives you those like interpersonal skills. I think you've spoken about it before, previous episodes, where it's like I don't think you can teach that. I think you have to learn it
the hard way, right?
Yeah, like being 21 and dealing with an angry customer or a drunk customer.
That's my niece at the moment.
Yeah,
in a pub, and she was like, the cheery men were in on the weekend.
Yeah.
We just had to deal with it,
and it's horrible at the time, but I think it gives you like just being able to deal and talk to anyone is like such an undervalued skill. And probably hospitality and maybe retail are probably the or maybe tourism to a certain extent, but like I think it's a great industry for that. So yeah, I'd say go in and
I'm 100%
be open-minded about where
I think it should be forced.
Yeah.
I think I keep saying we had Mark. So I keep saying this every single time. But we had Mark McCulloch on last year, and he was like, there should be a legal requirement to go into the army or go into hospitality.
Yeah,
and even if it's 3 weeks, whatever, like it's just insane.
Sort our staffing crisis out.
Yeah, it really would. Can you imagine? Like it'd be insane. So I think, and they learn so much from it. So I think the word transferable skills is insane in hospitality, because you go into any business from working into hospitality, it changes everything.
Yeah,
from the person who's just left uni that's never sold anything in their life, 100%. To someone having to deal with a different customer in their hospitality venue is a game changer.
Yeah, and if you do it for a couple of years, then go into a different sector, you are going to have to talk to people, whether it's like colleagues or customers or whatever, and it just gives you that sort of ability, I think. So
I agree. I think the team as well. I think the nice thing about hospitality is that if you're depending on the business you're in, but if you're in a good business and you've got a good team, it's good team
camaraderie.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're sort of that transferable skill as well, rather than being the sole person sitting in the corner of the office. There's that way. So yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so the questions. Best hospitality experience.
I'm going to say, this was literally 2 weeks ago, is a restaurant called Arme in Barcelona. It's a tiny little 20-cover tasting menu restaurant, and it was run by 3 people.
3 people?
11-course tasting menu. The head chef, owner, door opener, guy opened the door, let us in. He told us the sort of concept. It was like sort of seafood based. Food was amazing. It wasn't like crazy for a tasting menu. Wasn't crazily expensive. It was like my birthday. My wife booked it as a surprise. But we had this amazing meal, and he'd done this. I think he's cracked the small tasting menu experience model. So like he's got no front of house staff. His menu is just wine, and he'll make you a coffee afterwards.
Yeah.
So there's no cocktails. There's no, like, it's small enough that he can get around the tables. The 2 other chefs, who are both great, they brought dishes to the table as well.
Yeah.
So I had that whole thing where, like, you interact with everyone throughout the meal. And yeah, it didn't feel rushed at all. He does like 2 services. It was basically like dinner only, 5 nights a week. There's 2 times you can book. I think it was like 8 p.m. and 9:30 or something, so sort of 2 ways. So he's basically like made it really easy for himself operationally, and it just works perfectly. And it was honestly like such a great
And does he
meal.
keep changing the menu consistently?
Yeah. The menu evolves. It's obviously like market based and stuff, like seafood and things. So it was a really I was just like, honestly, I wanted to like take notes about what he was doing.
Yeah.
And like chatting at the end, like that thing where they just there's no
barrier.
Rush.
Right?
You feel like he could have stood there for 20 minutes chatting if we didn't, but like you feel
it
like,
felt like it.
Yeah, but honestly, it was like, something about that was just really different and really special. So, yeah, Arme in Barcelona.
It's very clever.
AME, however.
There's a few of them out. I remember seeing, I think Knife Edge was on it a while ago, and there was this place inside a train station.
Yeah.
That was quite similar. Like, it was literally like set like 12 seats.
Yeah.
And they're just serving it to you, and you're chatting to them.
Yeah.
And literally there, and just literally that service, that's it. And then you're out, and the next people are in.
It reminded me of like the first Barafina, like that sort of thing where it's really good food, and it's really good service, but it's like informal. So like they were topping up the glasses. He put the wine in a cooler bucket, like next to the table, and he was like, "I'm going to come around and top up your glasses. I might get busy. top yourself up if you need to. And it was like, it was really, really like friendly and like really sort of like informal, but like really sharp as well.
I love that. I think that would be insane here. Like as long as you set the expectations of what you're happening, I think that's what it is. And him saying that to you means that you're not looking up for someone to come. And it's just those little touches is really important.
And I think you can break the rules on models as well now with especially with restaurants. Like, you know, you'd say like, oh, if you're going to do like a 11-course tasting menu, you're going to have like, you know, a really good cocktail list. You're going to have to like really lay on thick in front of house staffing. But he's just looked at that and be like, I'm just not going to do it at all. And it wasn't, there was no, the meal wouldn't have been enhanced in any way by like a dedicated front of house person. It was quite funny though, because he had to keep the door locked because like he was in the kitchen a lot of the time. There must be, it wasn't in a dodgy neighborhood or anything, but like so basically he had to keep running out the kitchen, unlocking the door and letting customers in and then locking it behind them. Which was funny, but that was.
It sounds insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Best hospitality tech.
So I'm going to say from hospitality tech I've used as an operator, I'm going to go with GiftPro.
Okay.
And the reason being that I think we were one of the first customers of theirs, and I think so quite good friends with the guy that started it. Now they sold it a few years ago, but they were just like in that what I was saying about before about like hospitality tech for small businesses not feeling like, you know, very friendly, very accessible. Like they were just amazing. So we put them in, our gift voucher revenue shot up. We were like, it was such a pain point because we had no system before, and everything was just like spreadsheets and like handwritten vouchers and like it was,
or the till voucher that gets lost.
The till voucher gets lost, all of that stuff. People coming in, and it was like so putting that in and then actually seeing the business grow, GiftPro grow, and working with them on like, you know, they were so responsive to ideas. I remember when COVID happened and we were doing like meals at home like everyone was doing at the time, and we're trying to find a way to basically like an online ordering mechanism, because we didn't have anything like that before, and like the reservation platform wasn't really working, the EPOS platform wasn't really working, and just had a call with them. They just built something. Basically they were like, oh yeah, it's probably a good idea, there's probably other customers of ours that would benefit from this. So they had the
marketplace, they had the truck front already, right? So it's just
exactly.
Stuff.
And they were just like passionate about that hospitality tech stuff, and the service was always good, really good. So so I'd say from like tech I've used those guys, and then probably more recently to tech I haven't used but I've been really impressed with, I'd say Stampede and Glue. To sort of similar spaces like loyalty, customer retention, feedback. I saw it at the Served event in February. This like wandered into the demo. And I was like, I was trying to work out what res it integrated with. So like I went, and it was Lewis chatted to me. I was like, oh, what reservation you integrate with? He's like, oh, well, we do a few, but we've got our own. I was like, you built, like, I was like, show me. Is it like really? In my head, I was like, it'd be really like basic. But it was like, he showed me like a live customer who like, I don't know, like absolutely full service. So that like the capabilities of that, I was like, that is pretty cool. And then similarly, I got a demo of Glue, I think just before they launched. And that I was.
I really like what they're doing.
And
it's very different, and it's the tee off of, it's the next iteration of GiftPro, really. Isn't it?
And they've got like retail customers as well as hospitality, so they've got which you might, as an industry, might be a little bit ahead of us in terms of
way ahead
of things. So you can see that they've like put some of that learning into it. So really, really impressed with those two.
We're plugged in, so it's really interesting. And
the UX is so nice, and it's just that whole like it's Apple Wallet integration
and the customer journey, the pieces, the wallets. It's a very interesting take on loyalty. And they've changed it slightly. So, it's really good. So we're going to go back in time. So we start from the very beginning as well. So let's go back to your early doors. Before you even started, I love to ask this, did you work in a pub or in hospitality before you started? Or?
I washed dishes in a country pub in sort of summer holidays when I was at school. I think that's the only hospitality experience I had before before working in the industry, basically. Before starting a business in the industry. But yeah, it's completely new to it apart from that.
Yeah. So then, what happened from there? How did you find your first route into hospo?
Well, we did a university project, and the final year was to like come up with like an e-commerce business, like an online business, and we had this idea to a group of uni mates to basically do like a bit like what HelloFresh and Mindful Chef is now, like a chef prepared premium meal kit that you can take home, cook in like 15-20 minutes, and basically have like a restaurant quality. Our thing was like restaurant quality food like in your own home. And we did this project, and the lecturer was at the end was like, "Oh, this is actually quite a good idea." He gave us a really good mark. He's like, "You should go off and do this." And a few of the others had already had like jobs lined up and stuff, but myself and my co-founder Andy and another guy sort of like started with it, and then decided it wasn't for him quite quickly. Basically, went off and tried to build this business. So we basically found like a local chef and tried to convince him to like come on board, and he was mad enough to do that. And we found like a little lock-up unit, converted it into a kitchen. So basically built this, like, this was 2004, so like an online ordered meal kit.
It didn't really exist at that point. You may have had some personal trainers that were making like horrific protein. Because I think my friend used to get these rubbish baked like boiled chicken and rice, and he would get it delivered, and that was like that was basically what he would go to the gym and be happy with this horrific food.
Exactly. Well, like supermarket ready meals were pretty uninspiring.
Yeah.
There was a little bit. So there was like a thing called Rocket London at the time where they were trying to do it at tube stops. So you'd order and like pick up from tube stop and like take it home.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where we got the idea, because I worked for Unilever for a summer and an internship, and I'd heard about this. It was one of their like sort of spin-off venture things, and so that was I guess like the sort of like initial sort of spark of inspiration. And then our model was like we'd just like go around in a van and deliver it to offices like lawyers, accountants, basically. So we basically got that business off the ground in about a year or so, I think.
That's insane. And development with no
made all the classic mistakes.
Good learning,
really good learning. We had like a really good chef, so the food quality was always great, but like from the business side, we were just like two 21-year-olds like basically trying to do business, and the online, paying for stuff online at that time, especially from like some website you never heard of, like Amazon or something, was not like, everyone was very reticent. They're like, we'll just give you cash. But like, we'd rather you use the website that we've built. So that we sort of we tried to get that going for probably about 6 months, and we did. Maybe more than that, maybe about a year or so. But like we did like farmers markets, we got them stocked in a load of retailers, so we're like going around delivering them to delis. But I think we came to the realization that like the price that we had to sell them at to cover all of our costs and to make a margin was like the market wasn't ready for that. But
you didn't have the air vac pack things to keep it fresh for longer and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we were getting like maybe like a 2-day shelf life. Yeah. But we probably weren't smart as well. Like we probably weren't deliberately cooking stuff that with ingredients that would last a bit longer. There's probably like chopped herbs and So it was a really short shelf life. But like the people who had them, like we got loads of like good feedback. But then at the time we were like, because we were dealing with these like law firms and accountancy firms and things, they were like, "Oh, would you come and like cater for our board meeting or something?" We're like, "Well, we're not really a catering company." Or like farmers market, people were like, "Oh, we're getting married in the summer in the market. We're like, do you guys want to come and do it?"
Yeah.
And we were like, "We're not really a catering company." And then
after the 19th request,
I remember our chef at the time. We were like, "There's a lot of money in outside catering," and actually, it was probably around that time of like Jamie Oliver's like food revolution, like war against turkey twizzlers and stuff. And our brand was all about like fresh, natural, local food. So we were like using all these little local suppliers. We were like, it's like sort of freshly cooked, seasonal. So it sort of resonated with people, I think, who had that, it sort of like bought into that lifestyle. So once we started saying yes, we basically just almost overnight just became a really busy catering company.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where you're like,
if you don't iterate, you die, basically,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and it was a really valuable lesson, I think, at the time, just being like, you can't just be completely market-led. You can't just be like, whatever a customer says, we'll go in that direction. But if the market consistently says, we'd be really good.
And also, there's probably, you had the trust in there as well, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably different, because the people, you already built in that trust. So it wasn't like a random person asking you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's probably just like ate one of the meals and said, oh, this is quite good food.
Yeah.
Why don't they do a wedding or something? Some like it was probably no more complicated than that. So so that sort of became the business, really. Like we sort of wound down, or like sort of tapered off the meal kit side of it, and then just just started doing loads of outside catering, which is like such it's great when you do it, when it's done well, but it's such a tough part of the industry, I think, because there's so many variables. Like you're doing it in a marquee or some other venue, and you're like, you don't know if the water goes off, the electric trips, unless you're like, who was it, Rhubarb, who come up with their giant vans, all pre-done and everything else. Like, I got married in a marquee in the front garden. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they like had to make, they had no idea what was available. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. And you've got you're at the mercy of the kitchen equipment turning up, and like so many variables. And we did that for about 3 years probably. And got
how old are you now then?
Hold on, am I now?
No, were you?
Oh, I would have been started the business at 21, so no, 22.
So still pretty young, building that out.
25 probably. Yeah. And we got we realised quite early that like getting like exclusivity arrangements with venues was a really good way to do it, because like you basically,
they use you only, right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like 2 or 3 suppliers, but it's a really good way of just like making it more of like a regular predictable income. Because you'd be like, okay, well, we did 20 weddings with them last year. Let's assume we do 25 this year or whatever. So you can start to like sort of plan sort of like financially a bit better. So that sort of like made the business, I guess, like viable. And we like started to hire people. So we had a team of like probably 5 or 6 maybe, and then like in the summer it was like
insane, probably
like 40 or 50. Like just
seasonal business.
Yeah, because you'd have like the uni people, the locals who are away at uni. Yeah. And then they're back for the summer, so they'd be texting you and be like, right, I'm here.
What have I got?
Yeah. I want to work for 6 weeks, then I want to go to Glastonbury, and then we're going to Ibiza, so I want all the shifts.
As much as possible.
So there was like that whole coordinate. I mean, there would have been like, I'm sure there's a really good app there, but it's all just like whiteboards and like, right, okay.
Who's on, who's off?
Yeah, exactly. So did that, and then that sort of, we came to the realization, I think, that like having our own venue would be like the next logical step, because then you can, because like contracts with other venues is great, but you're only going to be as busy as how good their marketing is to a certain extent. So you can get lucky and absolutely smash it, or they can just not do any wedding fairs, or like, cancel all the all the magazine ads that they thought that they were going to do, and all of a sudden you'd be like, oh,
my 25 weddings have gone to 3.
Or they just change the direction and go, actually, we're moving away from events and we're going to go into this. So like you're always quite
on the edge.
Yeah. Whereas like if you've got your own venue, you can market it, you can set your own pricing. That's another thing, is like if the venue sets the pricing too high and don't get enough bookings in, and we're like, well, if your room hire fee was like cheaper, you'd do twice as many events. So like actually being able to control all that was like really appealing. And then
convert it to minimum spend. It's always a way.
Exactly.
No higher fee, just add it to the spend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then an opportunity came up at a modern art gallery that had basically like really big, some really great event spaces, and then a cafe and a restaurant in it. And we'd never done cafe or restaurant. That wasn't like, we went from like meal kits to outside catering to like this. But our chef, the partner, the guy called Richard, brought in early doors, he's ran his own restaurants before. Yeah. He's like, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Fine. So we pitched for this contract with no restaurant or cafe experience. And we're a tiny company with horrible, like financials and stuff. Like no real, like, we were probably like the least the most risky choice.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, we went through these because it was quite like a big tender process,
right?
So it was like rounds and rounds, and we got to like the final, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they selected us. They said, "Oh, we want to do a deal with you guys." So literally, like our business went from probably 4 or 5 staff to like 40 overnight because we tupied a load of the existing staff from the previous operator.
Yeah.
So that just...
Oh, so thank goodness you were able to do that.
Yeah, well, yeah, because there was still the restaurant was closed, the cafe was still trading.
Yeah.
The events, they were like running in-house, but they obviously had like a forward order book of stuff.
So did you take over the current events that was already in? Oh,
yeah.
sick. So that was handy.
And then like figuring out how all that worked.
Yeah.
And so that was like really big. That probably first year of that was probably like the most.
It must have been insane. Like your brain must have been exploding.
Yeah.
From like doing like if the iteration of from all the way through to then taking that project.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it was like learning restaurants and cafes. So I think we opened the restaurant about 3 months after when did we get in? I think we got in like early December, and then we opened the restaurant in February.
Yeah.
So February, great time to open the restaurant. Jesus Christ. I think we opened it a week before Valentine's Day.
Great.
It was like, oh, well, we'll just
be all right.
We'll have a nice easy Saturday to like bed in. So we basically did that, and then that was that first probably 2 years actually. Just like the learning curve was massive. Like having a big team, and then as we opened the restaurant, that probably doubled the team size again, and then the events.
Well, you're learning everything. So you're not only learning, expanding from 5 to 40.
Yeah,
is just like a brain killer.
Yeah, and obviously we didn't have one at the end of the process.
Yeah. Opening checks. So were they? Oh, we'll be all right. Yeah, it's fine.
Just muddling along. So like that was really, really intense, but in a good way. Like learn.
And were they PRing you as well? Was the building giving you marketing as well? Were they like?
Yeah, we had a great it was a really good relationship because the board at the time were basically they just wanted their F&B to be really good quality, and they were obviously it had to be financially sustainable, had to be like give them a return, but the priority was just like making it work. And it was, to a certain extent, it was like, look, you
sort of understood hospitality. You were doing the events, right?
Yeah.
The events catering is very different to restaurant. It's interesting because people who start in a restaurant don't have the experience from events, because events, so many things can go wrong.
Yeah.
But you've got to look after the customers first. So it's really interesting because some people just start restaurants from like corporate.
Yeah.
And they no visibility on, oh, hold on, the customer service is a really important piece.
Yeah.
If you go to any good event, the team are all over you, right?
Yeah.
Looking after you. So you sort of got that really in first.
Yeah, it's a totally different flow, and it's a totally different, we don't know, we've got reservations, we don't know what people are going to order. Like events, you've got like the menu, confirmation choices like 2 months in advance. So like on the day of the event is generally like the most calm because like all the sort of...
It's pre-done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unless some, random thing sort of happens that you're not...
no power.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so like learning all of that stuff was like really...
That's insane.
Really interesting. But
and the three of you are still like the main partners in it, or did you?
Yeah, so we had other like advisors and shelves and board members came along. So we sort of bolstered that that board up. But myself and Andy, my co-founder, were like the sort of the basically like joint MD was. I don't think he had proper titles, but like he was more on like the finance and the ops, and I was more on like the sales and the marketing stuff probably. But the team changed over the years, but we managed to grow. So like the events was probably the biggest one. It was quite...
So that was still going. So you had the restaurant, cafe, and event space, and then as well as other
the outside catering. No, we actually sold that to our first employee.
Oh, really?
He wanted to. Yeah, it was a really nice story. He wanted to. I think when all the sort of the venue stuff came along, most people were like really excited to like, oh, that's quite a cool new project.
Yeah.
It was quite just like, actually, I really like my own like little outside catering company. And we were like, well, do you want to buy us? So we sold it to him. So that was a quite nice end to that chapter. And then we built up over the years. We sort of I think we slowly got better, and we understood like how it works. It's having those three. I think like in talking to people that own like multiple restaurants, if you've got like 4 or 5 restaurants, and not just a chain, but like differently branded, there's a point at which it becomes like you can sort of systemize stuff. Whereas like, because we had like a fairly big business that did like 3 things all in one.
Yeah, like all very different.
Yeah, and the other, like that was probably like where I started getting really into hospitality tech. Because I was like, just trying to control it all. Like the reservation system was useless at managing event bookings, for example. Yeah. But then like there wasn't really any good event software, and like we'd try and like butcher like a HubSpot or some sort of like corporate CRM tool that would never quite had the feels and never quite had. And then you've got these reports, you give them to chefs and they're like, Jesus Christ, like, I can't work off this. Yeah. So like that, I think that was sort of where I first started getting interested in the tech side of things. But yeah, so
back then, the tech, was it all just very much bip tills, or were you doing like till set? Like, was it all very fragmented? Was each part not linked, obviously, right?
I think for the time we were probably quite forward thinking with the stuff that we had.
Yeah.
But looking like compared to now,
it's a different ballgame, isn't it?
Incredibly expensive. Incredibly like unreliable.
Yeah,
like,
I've been doing this for years. I remember speaking to people by getting we just got a quote. It's your 30K.
Yeah,
and it's like a 60 cover restaurant. Yeah, and it's like 30K. I was like, what?
We were the idiots who would have spent that 30K. Yeah. It would have been like
there was no choice though.
3-year contract.
Yeah.
Hardware on site.
Yeah.
So they turn up and they've got like Windows PCs running in the office.
Yeah.
And then like someone just like a cleaner pulls the plug out and puts the Hoover in and go, oh, the tools have all gone off in the restaurant. It's literally that.
Yeah.
It was that sort of shaky. But there wasn't anything better at the time.
There's still people using that old school Windows tools. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like I was there somewhere else the other day and I looked at and it was rebooting and it was Windows 7. And I was like, how is that even allowed on it? And it just like it rebooted. I think it was a spinning. It took like 5 minutes and then it came back up. And I was like, that one always breaks. We use the other one. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Technology's come such a long way.
Yeah.
But I guess it all depends on the brand you're in. So, okay, so you've got the 3 places.
Yeah.
Insane of running 3 different... And then, so you said you were getting into tech. Is that when what was that like?
Yeah, I think, I was probably like... I was the sort of person who was always getting demos of like random tech products. I wasn't like leaning over the chef, like commenting on the food. I wasn't like... I was never meddly in that way. Like I think I was probably meddly in like, oh, this is the 3rd rotor system that we've got in. Because I've been to a show and I've seen like this new cool thing. So I found the tech side of it really, really interesting. Like, and being a customer of it for like 15 years probably, it was interesting to see how, it went from being like, oh, you're a single site place in the north of England, like, right, okay, you're clearly at the back of the queue in terms of support, to being, like, the more modern tech, like Gift Pro's a good example of just like, like always getting like really good service no matter what size of business. So I think I started to become quite interested in that side of things, and frustrated as well because I can never find
something to collect everything together, right?
Yeah.
So how long were you in that like triple threat place for?
Yeah, so we were there for must have been about 16 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's a good contract to have.
Yeah,
wow.
It was. We renewed it a couple of times. Like we did. What did we do? I think we started with a 3-year deal, and then we did a 10-year deal, and then we did another 3-year deal. Maybe.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, museums are always going to work, right? Because there's always a need for it. And their sort of spaces.
Yeah, and it was like it was such a unique thing because you would. Plenty of operators do restaurants. Plenty of operators do cafes. There's plenty of like outside caterers or like venue caterers, but it's actually quite rare, I think, to find someone who wants to do all 3.
Yeah, because normally you'd have that coffee shop would go to like the coffee brand down the road. The restaurant would go to some like another operator, and then the event space would run by the internal team. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen someone take all 3.
Yeah, well, that's they were running it internally when we came in. So like, actually, I think they were probably quite happy with you taking all 3. Yeah, because it's a lot of plate spinning, and like if you've got different operators, then you've got like deliveries turning up and it gets delivered to the wrong company, and then all of a sudden, you used our milk or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the internal competition. So like having just one operator do the whole thing made a ton of sense to them. So yes, we did that, and we took on a couple of other like sort of sort of similar venue contracts around the area at the time, and none as big as that. And then we started doing a bit of consultancy because there's a lot of cultural venues often have underperforming or problematic hospitality, and it's like it's nobody's fault, but it's like the F&B's last thought sometimes. In those sort of spaces, it's like we've got it, but so maybe like the ops manager, the gallery or the theatre or museum ops managers like in charge of that, and they're not hospitality people, and they're suddenly managing a contract or trying to run a team. So it can get quite tricky. So like it's
quite bespoke as well.
Yeah.
Like you've got hospitality consultants that are just for restaurants.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at those sort of venues, it's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah. I was when we were doing it, I don't think I'd heard of anyone else, anyone else in that space, and we didn't advertise it at all. We just got like, just because we were I guess we were known in the area. We were like, we had connections with people at other venues. We just we have a meeting about we're trying to do this. So it's all sort of happened organically. So we did a few like consultancy
projects. Quite a common theme throughout this conversation, isn't it? Sort of flowing into it, like it's quite a nice little flow, isn't it?
No plan, just sort of like just going where the wind takes.
It's about the relationships, really. So this is like all the relationships you built throughout the time.
Yeah,
is they're all solid. So it's not about the flow. I think it's moreover there's trust. Again, we're going back to trust, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
They trusted you to take the space. They renewed your space, and then the local area was like, well, hold on, if they're getting it right.
Yeah. I think it was maybe we were an example of like a success story in that. So we found ourselves having conversations with other venues. I think like the cultural venue, like the board that runs cultural venues and hospitality, it's a really like unique relationship. It's not like a typical landlord-tenant relationship. Like if you've got a chain of restaurants or whatever, you've got landlords, it's a very different thing. Like the priorities are very different. Like they're much more focused on like customer service, because it's their brand a lot of the time. Like often
it responds to their brand, right?
Yeah, or being like sensitive to like the content that they've got. So like they might be like, oh well, we've got this, this exhibition next summer, and the theme is blah blah blah, and we want to do menus that like complement that or things like that. And so a lot of operators, that's just a massive headache.
Yeah, they run a mile,
and they'll be like, well, no, this is our concept. Because we were more like flexible in our approach.
Well, because you've done the catering side, I guess. So you sort of like you'd already understood the challenges of someone saying, "Well, this is what we want."
Yeah, exactly.
Or this is the theme we want. So
and when you sit, probably right actually, could like the outside catering stuff. When you sit down with like a bride or someone, they don't want to like look at the menu and go, "I'll have like that starter, that main." They want to like tell you a story about this, I don't know, like dessert that they had like last summer in Greece or their grandma's recipe for something, and then So like that was our approach then to like build menus around like
the story. You're building menus around the story.
It was really sort of like custom. Like it was so much work looking back, and I don't think we even charged any more. It was like the same price whether they like ordered I don't know, better bladed beef or whatever, or like some massively bespoke thing. We were never like confident to like probably charge what it actually cost. But I think having that approach meant that we were like quite receptive to those things, and we were like.
Yeah, because most people would be like, these are the menus you can choose from.
Yeah.
Which ones do you want? There's a 10 this, there's a 10 this, there's a 10 that. And it's rare that anyone would do what you were doing.
Yeah, so it sort of worked. So we sort of ended up doing a bit, consultancy here and there with that.
So how long were you? 13 years you were in that space? 16 years? Wow.
Yeah, 16 years, I think.
Jeez.
And then we one of the businesses we were consulting wasn't a cultural venue. It was like a private business.
Yeah.
They were like building this whole group of businesses in loads of different sectors, and one of them they really wanted to invest in was hospitality. And basically had a conversation, would you like to sell your business to us? We'd sort of been working with them, and actually my business partner and I think we were coming up to like 19, 20 years, like basically doing the same.
Yeah, hard slog every day.
It's like a long, it's sort of, we're still really passionate about it, still really enjoyed it. I love the team and everything, love all the things we've built, but it's just, hospitality is just getting harder and harder. So actually, it was quite nice to be able to do that. And then I think I was probably, I didn't know at the time, I think looking back, I was probably ready to do something new, and I knew, I didn't know what it was, but like I remember thinking my interests or passions in work are basically like the hospitality industry and technology. So I was like, something that like
crosses borders,
ticks those boxes.
So when did that finish?
2023.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So basically, I didn't know what to do at first, but then, as luck would have it, like
again,
actually our old chairman, contacted me. So there's this consultancy project. Do you want to? I was like, I've got nothing to do at the moment. So like, why not? So like, went and met this. Again, it wasn't quite in the cultural venue sector. It was like it was a private company, but did a basically did a project with them for about 6 months. Really interesting. I was like, I'll just, until I've got some inspiration or something, I'll just be a consultant, and picked up a couple of contracts. This was like a year ago, and really enjoyed it, and just thought, this is good fun. And then just sort of saw, particularly over the last year, I saw so many people flooding into the consultancy space.
Yeah.
I learned what fractionals were. Never really heard of that.
To be fair, I didn't know what that was till 6 months ago, to be honest with you. I've heard of the name, but now it's insane, isn't it? It's insane.
So that just became, I just thought that was a really, really interesting like trend happening in the industry. And I was like, well, to a certain extent, it's probably like bad for me in terms of like, if I'm trying to be a consultant and there's like millions of but actually everyone's sort of got their own niche, and like people.
It's so different.
Yeah,
it's so different.
Yeah, it's and the thing that you can be a consultant at now, like I'm learning every day. Like I spoke to someone last week, and they were like, I'm a fractional ops director. I was like, how do you not be 100% of an ops director? She's like, I'm an ops director for businesses.
Yeah,
they're all multi-site businesses.
Wow,
scaling brands.
Yeah,
who don't need like physical presence all the time, but
they need outside eyes.
They need that expertise, and I think she specialises in like the people compliance side of things.
Yeah, which is massive.
She's like, I've got. I could do way more business than I currently do.
Yeah.
So basically, I sort of saw this like trend of what I think is happening in the industry at the moment. It's like people are rethinking senior employment models.
Yeah,
and they're maybe having fewer full-time chunky salaries, and
I think there's budgets as well, right?
There's a budget.
So people are like, actually, do I need someone full-time here? Yeah. Can we do it with this? And then the outside eyes is the amount of times that we've worked with consultants over the years so much, like literally who've come in and been like, you need someone to just look at the business. Yeah. And there was never really that many. There was a few that were like, that I knew of and that we would refer off to. But even to now, like the CMOs will leave. Like it's rare that CMOs will leave. Yeah. CMOs, I was talking to, weirdly enough, my niece yesterday. She wants to get into marketing. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. She's kind of got, an internship at the moment. Yeah. And then we were talking about the levels of where people hit in a group. Yeah. So you get marketing manager, marketing director, and then that level of director sort of stops until the CMO leaves, and CMO stays for ages. Yeah. And then eventually when the CMO leaves, who might do fractional, then that person will come up. Yeah. So we're seeing lots of marketing directors who are leaving because they can't get up there. Yeah. And then they'll go fractional. Yeah, exactly. So it's really interesting.
It makes like the more I thought about it, the more I like spoke to people in that sort of space, like the more, like to me, it's such an obvious solution, because like I think consultants used to be expensive people that you brought in when the house was on fire and you needed, it was like a sort of smash the glass and press the button and consultant turns up.
The reset.
Or they were like these people, really expensive people who like wrote reports that got put in a drawer and nobody read. And it was just sort of box ticking exercise. But like actually the hospitality industry world at least is full of consultants who are like proper, practical, sleeves rolled up. It's all like really, really like operational stuff. I think it isn't really like big sort of fluffy strategy things. So I think it's a space that's like growing, and I think maybe there's not quite enough hospitality businesses who have clocked on to they can plug in a fractional.
Yeah, and just each hours, whatever.
Yeah,
like
dial it down.
Yeah, it's like Fiverr for hospitality.
Yeah, exactly. So I sort of like saw all that, and I was like, well, that's an interesting trend, and where are all these people getting their work from? Like, there's obviously some sort of website that I don't know about.
Yeah.
That they get, and couldn't find it. I was like, it must be LinkedIn. And
yeah,
like, LinkedIn's it's a phenomenal social network, but like, if you're trying to search and find a specific person, it's not actually that.
No, it really isn't. Companies, it's good to see like what's happening. It's nice to see what's happening. And if you go, the LinkedIn ads are quite nice sometimes, depending if they're targeted to you.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can't. If you want to find something specific, and it's more over you looking at your network, and then seeing who's LinkedIn, and then maybe connecting to them.
Yeah, exactly. And chatting to other consultants and people in the space about how do you find projects, where do you get work from? A lot of it's word of mouth, a lot of it's I go to networking events, I do networking events, host my own. I post stuff on LinkedIn, and people like get in touch and things. So I sort of thought that's great, but all of that is a ton of work. And if you're if you've been at it for years, you've got a big presence on LinkedIn, you've got really well known in the industry, you're probably absolutely fine with like word of mouth referrals and things. But like I was thinking, my sense is there are a lot of people moving into this space who have got like maybe 10, 15, 20 years experience in maybe a brand or in the industry, got to a senior level. So they've got like all the knowledge and expertise. They probably haven't spent that 20 years building up their network, figuring out where the project.
They've just been slogging slogging away.
Head down, doing their job. So like all of a sudden they're in this freelance fractional space, and like they're trying to get their LinkedIn going. They're turning up to events and things. And I was just like, there must be a lot of people sort of spinning their wheels a little bit, thinking, where do I go? And I sort of thought, well, if you can get all of those people like in one place, in like a really clean, searchable directory with like explains exactly what they do. They can share as much or as little information as they want. And it's all really easy to like find. A bit like, I hate using the Airbnb analogy, but it's like a bit like Airbnb. It's like I can just go to a place,
100%.
Put my budget in. I need, I don't know, a hot tub or something, or electric car charger or whatever. Sounds like I live a really luxurious lifestyle, definitely. But like if you can do that, then the other side of the market, the businesses, are going to have a much easier time finding them. They can,
and everyone needs help, right?
And everyone needs help, and it's not something that once you get on like the LinkedIn hamster wheel of like gotta post, because if you don't, suddenly
you're gone.
You just you go and you sort of like drift off into obscurity. If you've got like a relatively static profile, you don't need to, update it when you've got, something changes, or you've got a client testimonial that you want to share, like keep it fresh, but you don't need to like tend to it every day, and you can actually go off and do your job, do the stuff that you're getting paid to. Because I think that's the other thing, was like if you're a one person business,
you haven't got time to start doing everything else.
Well, you've got time to do one or the other, I think. And when you do a load of biz dev stuff, and then you hopefully land some projects, and then you're busy doing those projects, then you're at full capacity, maybe. Amazing. You're getting, paid to the, 100%, but then you don't have time to do all of the, putting the stuff in place for what comes next. And then
show your value, right?
So you typically get a lot of quite spiky work patterns. And really what you want is a persistent presence. I think what you want is a persistent presence somewhere where people are going to look for that sort of work anyway. And hopefully those opportunities will start to come through. A bit like, Airbnb. If you had a holiday cottage, you could put it on Airbnb, and Airbnb does it provides the marketplace for you. You don't have to go get.
It's one of the original marketplaces out there, right?
You don't have to get
everyone laughed it out of the park when it first started. They thought you'd never make any money. And now they're like the biggest in the world.
It's so weird to go and stay in someone else's house. And now I prefer it to a hotel most of the time. So I sort of thought, well, like building that would maybe, if it got adoption, it would maybe help solve that problem and bring, like, firstly, well, I did two things. One, make it really, really easy for businesses to find the right fractional or consultant. Because it's like, if you've asked, I don't know, if you've asked around and you spoke to someone, they're like, oh, I use this person. That's great. It's a good recommendation, but you don't know who you overlooked. You know what I mean? You don't know that
And there's a certain, as you said, everyone's got a little bit of expertise.
Yeah.
So there's a general all-rounder, which is great. Yeah. We've got lots of them on there, which I saw generalist. They call themselves. A great name. Yeah. And then you've got others that are specific into it. So, and often it is, because we speak to operators all the time, there's always something where there's one specific path they need. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And they will struggle to find that specific path.
Exactly. And that specific problem, what could be better than finding somebody who does nothing all day that solve that problem in various different businesses, and they love it, they're like completely like immersed in the problem, they understand it intimately, versus trying to get the person closest, the most logical person in your business who may or may not have any sort of domain knowledge of that problem to try and solve it. So I think, and I think like you said, you see so many more specific problem solvers. I think that's the way. I think as more people become freelance consultants, fractional or whatever, I think they're just going to sort of trickle into these like really nice niches, which from the consultant's point of view, I think is really good, because you just become the person that's
what my brain goes to as well is a generalist who's sitting there will be like, right, they've got the client, and then they go back to your platform and go, right. Because I remember
it's already happening.
So I remember back in the day, as a friend of mine, a friend of a friend, he was a consultant, like a tech consultant, right? So they would have like big projects, like big old freaking build projects. It would be like a huge, like council gym that needs to be refurbished for all the tech stuff. And he was one guy. He was always one guy, and he'd open up his black book and he would tender for these crazy projects. And I'm like, I would say, how do you, you're one guy? He goes, but I know 30 amazing people. And they will drop everything for me. So he would pick up stuff from BT, from Goldman Sachs, like from council, like you name it. He would get the project in and he would do it all. And he'd go in and his presentation would be insane. He had the confidence to and it was one guy going on all these other agencies, like big businesses that have got like, thousands of staff, one guy. And that's what I see happening. You probably see it's already happening already. That they now have the option to go in and go, because in the past you'd be like, I haven't got the tools to do that for you. Now it's more over.
You just find them.
I'm like, okay, so what are you looking for? They go into the platform, they build the bucket of what they need, reach out to them, and they go, right, you ready to join the project with me? This is what's going on. This is the budget. Can you do it? Yes. I've got X amount of hours.
And
I think that's something that it doesn't exist right now in hospitality. In other areas, that single consultant will pull in the resource they need. And I think it's a really interesting conversation of what the possibilities are.
I think, you're absolutely right. I think that the way that it hopefully will start to be used is you've got almost like a consultant lands a project that is bigger than them. So maybe like 60-70% of the project is like their bread and butter. It's like exactly what they do, the reason they got the project. But there's these bits around the edges that they could do, and they're probably doing an all right job, but actually they would be more confident and comfortable bringing in a niche specialist
around them,
and then presenting that to the client and saying, I'm this bit, this person's this bit, this person's this bit. Together, we'll absolutely nail this brief. And I think that's, again, coming back to that, like flexibility, and like if you can make it the marketplace so fluid and so easily accessible that you can find those people, and you see consultants already working together,
of course,
in like naturally complementary ways. But I think if you can do that, so you can literally find, if you know them, great, but if you don't know them, you can find them on the platform really easily. Present like a joint sort of tender. It's a really compelling opportunity for the client. So let's go back to, where was the name from? Well Seasoned. I don't know where it came from, but like basically I was I came up with a load of names, and I wrote down Hospitality Projector was the one that it was very nearly called. And I remember I had the idea for this in February, and I have quite a lot of ideas, and I'm a bit of a endless tinkerer. Like stuff just sort of like, I'd like to get things perfect before like sort of releasing them, and I knew that I'd have the tendency to do that. So I gave myself 7 days was like, it's going live in 7 days.
Yeah.
No matter what it's called, what it looks like, if it's completely broken, like it's going live. Like that's completely certain.
That's MVP, right?
Yeah. So because it would be 7 years otherwise. So so part of I was building it as like a hospitality projector or something. I was about to buy the domain name, and I was just like, "What are you doing? It looks so bad." Just seeing it .org or .work or whatever it was. So I was like, I can't remember I think I went for a run or walked the dog or something. And I was just thinking around it came in my head, like well seasoned. Like I thought that's quite nice because it's got a food slant to it.
Yeah.
It is what the people are. Like they are well seasoned professionals.
It's quite catchy too. So it's
So I think at first I thought, should it just be seasoned?
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, the main is probably more expensive for a start. Luckily, well-seasoned.work was relatively cheap. I built the thing in a few days.
We have to go back. I'm going to go back a little bit because if we were 5 years ago, this would be a year in the making.
Yeah.
This would be getting a budget of 5K to speak to a developer who wouldn't get it in the way you want it.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't do it in the design you want it.
Yeah. Or they would, but then by the time they delivered it, I decided the design needs to be different. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you have to pay for another UI developer because he's a developer that does the code and he's the UI developer.
Yeah.
We've been playing with Agentic for the last couple of years. It's insanely changed. And you've seen probably over the last 6 months what's just been spinning up. So I just, when you started on the Agentic journey, it'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts on it because, you can go down the rabbit hole and I'm sure you probably already have. I'm sure well-seasoned isn't, because Travis on your group was like, look at my bucket projects are probably all over.
Graveyard.
Yeah. So, I have them too and I have stopped myself. Every time I meet someone, they're like, I wish this was available. And I sort of go away. And in the past, I would stop. Now I'm like, don't do it. Just focus on what you have.
So difficult. Yeah. Well, I guess I got into it about 6 months ago, and I remember speaking to you at the time. And
you were saying, is there any developers out there?
Yeah. Well, I had a slightly different business idea that this was in like October last year or something.
Yeah.
But basically, I had this like idea for like a new take on loyalty.
I still love it, to be fair.
Yeah, and I can't remember who I was speaking to. I was Jonah from Blend put me in touch with a guy that he knew who's like really good like product guy. He's like, just because I thought I was going to try and learn Bubble and try and build it on that, and he was like, get a Replit account. I was like, what's Replit? He's like, vibe coding. What's vibe coding? So basically just started playing around with it. I was like, I was very skeptical, and I couldn't believe that
you did that pretty quick.
That was quite fast. I did that in like a few days. And got it out and again quite an MVP thing. But the interesting thing with that was like I think I started demoing it to people in like within a couple of weeks or something, because I was like, you are not allowed to just sit there building what you think people want.
Yes.
Until you've like, they basically just like, even if it's really basic, go and pitch it. So I basically just started anyone who I knew who was an operator, who might potentially be a customer or who worked for a brand. I was just like, can I have 30 minutes of your time to talk about this thing? And basically what I did then was I was almost too customer led, as they were like, yeah, it's interesting, but what if it did this? So basically the thing became a bit of a Frankenstein monster of like just loads of different things. And I actually realized this I was pitching it to the local French bistro where we live. I was sat down with the owner and he was like, had a little chat and stuff. He's like, anyway, tell me about, like, Visible is the name of the thing. And I told him about it. It must have taken like 15 minutes to explain what it was. I could see his like eyes glazing over. And I'm like,
you lost him already.
Like this is, if I can't explain it in like 30 seconds and they get it, then there's a problem here. So like I got a lot of really constructive feedback, really like, oh, it's interesting, but I never quite got that like eyes light up.
What it could do first.
Yeah, this is amazing. Yeah. This is amazing. And I think, so I probably spent 3 months like demoing it, building a bit, building a bit. But what I learned was like, stop trying to do everything. Like if you build something that tries to do everything, it's like
that one just went off and on. Let me turn that one back on. 1 sec. That was so funny. Sorry. There we go. There we go. Back on. It probably overheated. Bless it.
Oh no.
Sorry. Continue. Sorry. That one's still going. We're all good.
Yes, you build something that tries to do everything all at once.
Yes.
It's quite overwhelming to the customer, especially if they don't.
Yeah. Focus on the one thing, right?
Focus on the one thing, and it actually, again, Jonah from Blend, exactly what he was like. MVP, and I cannot stress the M part of that enough.
Yeah.
Completely didn't listen to him. Definitely should have done. But what it opened my eyes up to was just the possibility of building this stuff. And then I just got chatting to people in like the vibe coding community, and I spoke to someone who referred. Oh, it was actually one of the founders of Glue.
Yeah.
He's like, you should speak to this guy. He basically finances. He finances vibe coding startups. That's all they do. I spoke to a really, really interesting guy, and I was saying like, yeah, but everyone says like you can build an MVP, but it's not like commercial grade software, and it's clunky and it'll break. And once you get to a certain level of complexity, you know, you fix one thing and it's something breaks, fix blah blah blah. And I was like basically saying this to him, and he was like, the rate that it's like is phenomenal. So like what it's doing today versus what it could do 3 months ago versus what it's going to be able to do in 3 months' time is insane. And so I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. So so when the well-seasoned idea came around in February, I sort of had a bit more, because I'd had this sort of like
you've had your tester experience,
dry
right?
run sort of thing. And
you learned your mistakes from that one too.
And I think you can only really learn your mistakes, because in your head you are like, of course the user's going to want this feature. I'm going to spend an afternoon building it, and of course they're going to want this feature. And like the vibe coding platforms are quite like cheeky in a way, because they're like
rope you in.
What about if we did this next? You're going to need a dashboard.
Well, the new suggested plans on
stuff
on Replit is dangerous.
You just like shut up, chill.
It's very clever how they've done that though.
So a bit more disciplined with well seasoned, and a bit more like, it was what I immediately noticed when I started. Basically, like I put it like, I think I put a post on LinkedIn, and then 20 people on the first day signed up. So like, that's a really good sign, because nobody signed up to the previous thing of 3 months of me. Probably did 20 or 30 demos. I had one, probably, but like no, or maybe. So I was like,
the rate of what you have is insane.
So I noticed
you posted what last week to say 300 or something, like
350 now.
350. That's insane.
And what was really telling is that the people that signed up, firstly, like because all the profile fields aren't all mandatory. I thought, they'll just probably like do the minimum ones.
Leave it simple.
And then they'll forget to come back and and I'll have to nudge them to like redo the profile. But like just started filling in like really comprehensive profiles, like profile photos, previous clients. They really like embraced it. And then,
most people don't have a portfolio. So it's a really interesting conversation, because they could use it, and I mean, I could see people putting their little link at the bottom to link to their portfolio.
That was one of the wild things, was that because everyone signed up, I was just like, thanks for signing up. Can we have a call? I just want to like, nothing weird. I just want to like understand how talk a bit more about the plans for it and how it works. And like one guy emailed me back, and he had his like well-seasoned link on his he puts it as a signature on his email. I was like, that's actually quite smart. It's quite a good like sort of way of
next thing is the little icon, so they can put it on their signatures, right?
I'm sure Replit will prompt me to do all that soon. But it was like talking to people, they were like, they got it immediately. It wasn't a difficult concept. They were really passionate and excited. They had loads of ideas about where it could go, and they were like, either like, it's really good at this now, is this, or like, I can't believe this doesn't already exist. It seems,
which is what you looked at originally, right? You were looking at it and there was nothing.
It seems like, so it sort of feels like it. So it felt like, because there was
I think you came at a really good time. Because the amount of Fractional has increased probably by 70%. It's insane. I mean, it's flooding the market, which is really good, because there are so many businesses in trouble right now, and they are in trouble, and there's wool over their eyes. So they're running the business, they're moaning how the government's not helping them. But to have someone to come in for 2 hours and just look at what you're doing can make a huge change. Or even other stuff, like to understand what your staff are like, or what ordering you're using. We're using the wrong tech, or there's so much that not paying someone to come in as a consultant for full time, or a new ops director and they can pick and choose what they want and get that report of their business fairly quickly because that person has that time. Rather than the 3-4 weeks of an agency. I feel sorry for the big agencies, to be honest with you, because they've been ripping people off all over the place, you know? And now you can go, right, okay, I know who they work for. So I think, it's come at a really good time.
It's never been a better time for a business to engage a consultant or a fractional because there's loads of them. There are a lot that are like quite new on the scene, like really hungry, really passionate, like just getting started. So I think it's a great time for all of that.
I keep speaking to some new fractional people I know, and I'm like, so tell me, how many hours did you actually spend when you quoted for X? And they were like, I did 30 when I shouldn't have done. And I was like, okay, next time, I'm here if you need me. Just call me if you have that. I've been there. I work with my wife, she's my operations director, and she's like, and she's heard me on the phone. And during COVID, we were on a conversation with someone, and I'm basically telling everyone advice. I'm giving them all advice about the world, technology, policy, blah, blah, blah. And she holds up, she goes, put it on mute. I was like, what? I was like, no, I'm on the phone. She's like, and he holds up a mug, and she just points at the mug like that. And I went like, bear with you for a second. And she said, why are you giving away your gold? And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, you're giving away your gold. You're giving them everything so they can go away. They're writing everything you're saying. They're writing down and they're going to go away. So I put it on pause and I said, I'll call you back in a second. I called the guy back and I was like, so I can help you with this as a consultancy piece of what we do. On the tech side, he goes, great. How much? I went, that's 800 quid. Yeah, that's fine. I was like, that's the first time. I'd be like, ooh, okay. And then I came back in the room and I was like, yep, you're absolutely right. You're right, and it's learning.
And it's a really difficult. Who's it? Glenn DeBarber from Team Marketing, the Manchester event recently. We're chatting about this, and like the line between what you like, the stuff you give away for free to get your foot in the door or get the job. Versus like, if you give it all away, then why would they hire you? But like if you give nothing, then you don't. It's like quite hard, like finding that line is quite
happy medium
is quite difficult.
The hook them in and then let them just wait.
Yeah, exactly. And you see like the other thing I thought was actually like a lot of consultants are probably working in quite a silo mentality of like their pricing, their like what they give away for free, like how they operate, and if you can create a community where everyone can just chat about. I mean, you've seen it in
the group. It's awesome.
Like, it's really, I think for me, it's really interesting. Like, just sort of thrashing out those, because a lot of this stuff will be like, that's been through my head.
Yeah,
definitely. And if you can, you can see everyone else's, how they present themselves, their pricing, I've just built a packages feature so people can have different packages and things.
So originally that team marketing group has grown humongously, and in the beginning it was nice sharing, but it's marketing, right? So what you've built is really nice because it's a mix of everything.
All disciplines,
right? It's all disciplines, so it allows people to have, and it's functional at the moment. And so it isn't grown to where it's got to. So it'll be interesting to see when you get to that stage of where it is. But I think there's definitely people are worried. And whether it's an operator or a supplier or a fractional who's like, I'm not sure about how to do this. There isn't really that advice piece anywhere. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the next piece for you is like that guide of like, are you starting as a fractional? Read our guide. Do you know what I mean? And then they can pay for the guide, download it. And they're like all the Instagrammers do. Like they're on Instagram. They're like comment this, and I'll send it to you, and then you pay for this, and that funnel piece. So there's so many. So it's really interesting. I'm really proud. You've done really well. It's insane of what it is, and I'm absolutely in awe of the growth. Is insane.
The growth's been really.
I mean, you've definitely hit that project on the nose of what's needed, especially with the flow of it. I mean, the growth of it going like the sharpness. And because everyone else talks to each other. It's now like, oh, have you seen this? Do you know what I mean? So that the word of mouth piece is really nice, and also the marketplaces that you pay for when no one gets any leads from, which they're great and we love them because we support them. That it's not about that. It's about finding something that works together as a community. Yeah,
exactly. And I thought about like the monetization bit for a long time, and a few people like at the early stage were like, oh, you should just run like a recruiter model where you just charge a percentage of a secured project. I was like, well, it's probably going to scare at least one of the sides off the platform. And if it's coming out of the consultant's wedge, they're just going to put their prices up to compensate for it. So then it'll be a platform that's known for having expensive consultants on, or like more expensive than off the platform, which defeats the purpose of it. And so the model that I've landed on is essentially like a small monthly subscription for professionals, and it'll come in at some point, probably in the next couple of months. But I'm trying not to rush it, because I want to keep the growth going. I want to try and deliver a bit more before I try and charge.
Yeah, so there's added value in that.
Yeah, and if hopefully they'll find projects on there, but if they don't, or in the meantime, they'll benefit from the community side of it, I think.
Yeah. But not only that, the nice thing about it is that as it grows, more operators know about it, and more companies know about it. And then once you've got people coming into the platform, then there's added value. There's a reason for people to be on it, because, well, hold on. Yeah. And then now you've started to have more people grabbing because there's projects on there now. Then there's case studies and there's social proof.
Exactly.
So I think there's definitely there's a need for it. And also, as you said, these people are all siloed. Yeah. So when no one's they're all sitting at home. Yeah. Maybe not on site. Maybe working that. Where's that group environment? Where's the? It's really worrying if you think about it on mental health. Yeah. If you're sitting on a project siloed by yourself, not talking to anyone, you've got no one to banter your ideas against. Yeah. And when you're building that community out, or even linking other people together, because people will come to you. They'll come to you and say, I'm doing this, but I need X. And I think that's where it becomes in, because you'll know, they can look on the platform, but you as a person who runs it will know who's suited for what. Yeah. So I think it's a really interesting piece. I think there's definitely, and also then you can start monetizing, using it for ads, using that money to then pay towards pushing it out there. Do you know what I mean? As that product. I mean, literally, people on their websites will having your logo on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, partnered by X, which is that piece that you want of the stamp of approval, because it's like a stamp of approval. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully, yeah.
So I think. Listen, there's definitely a need for it. I think it's come a long way, and I think you've seen the scale of it now, right?
Yeah, and the two, I had like 2 projects posted on it so far, and both those were like, they got really fast, really relevant, really high quality proposals. Like one secured a consultant like within 7 days, basically.
Wow. Okay.
And like locked it in. Yeah. Other one, I think they're still. So at 10, they're still trying to decide, but I was like, do you want me to give it a bit more? Yeah. And it was like, we've got more than enough. Like, we're really, so it's really nice. It
doesn't mean that someone's email just and they're not getting bombarded with bloody emails from random people who aren't worth doing it because they want it, it's specific. Yeah. And I think that's another nice piece as well. There's too many times where you've gone on LinkedIn and they're like, oh, DM me or send me a WhatsApp. And there's hundreds of people asking about projects when it's just not their thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then like the next bit that I'm building, that hopefully nearly done, is like an AI problem solver. So
I saw it. Yeah, it looks really good.
At the moment, you can like post a project. Yeah, that's fine if you've got like a fairly decent idea of what you're looking for, like timescale, maybe budget, maybe like a bit of deliverables, or you can just like search and filter for consultants and like try and find the person that you're looking for. But like the thing I realize is like sometimes you don't have a specific project, and you also don't know the type of person you need. You've just got a pain point that you can't. You can say, this is the thing that's hurting my business, or this is the problem that's irritating me, but you don't actually know what the solution is. So like, it's almost like a diagnostics tool where you can literally say, we don't sell enough gift vouchers, or you can put 7 paragraphs in about a really specific
scope. You can put your scope of works in, and
well, as much or as little as you want. Obviously, the better context it has, and then AI will basically like scan the entire
marketplace
and say, okay, these are the people that are really will be most suited to you. Give you 6, give you another 6, and they'll say a little description about why they might be suitable. Yeah. So like I think that could be. I'm just trying to make it look.
I think that's also a benefit to you as well, because on setting up, you have spoken to lots of people. Yeah. And they've really enriched that profile. It isn't just a setup with Blair. Yeah, exactly. It's a proper enriched profile with everything they do in it. Yeah. Which is different to any other platform you see. Yeah.
And it encourages the consultants to be more like problem solution led in the way that they sell themselves. So like, and they're already really like, the profiles are already very much like that. Like there isn't very much sort of abstract like, oh, I create synergies. And it's like, I will make your GP 5% better or something. It's like, it's really sort of like blunt in a good way. So I think that could be an interesting way that businesses could use it, because you can just you literally like just type the thing that's annoying you into a box and see what happens. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a few.
I think the nice thing now is that it's endless. But obviously you've got to remember not to go off to ever have that conversation. I think you'll end up having like what Chris Fletcher has with his Toast Council. You'll have like top 5-6 people that you'll bring together and be like, right, what do people actually want? Yeah. Because that's the challenge. I spoke to a client about 4 weeks ago, about a month ago now, and he's like, Adam, I don't know anyone who's in our venues. Yeah. I sit at the top level. We top level marketing. I don't know anyone who's in. And then I was like, well, what if you could? And he goes, what do you mean? And we were just talking, and he goes, well, it'd be nice to be able to see who's in. What about if we could see the spend of? I was like, well, that's all possible. Yeah. He's like, how? And then that weekend, I was like, blah, 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 you know, and then we built it. So I think. I like you. I'm holding back a little bit.
It's hard to rein yourself in,
on there and not building stuff. Or like someone said the other day, I want an inbox to reply to people on Severance. And I was like, breathe and don't do it.
So tempting.
Now I'm just like, I know someone who does that. So let me introduce you. I want an AI voice thing. I'm like.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, I know someone else does that, so it's okay. So I can push people in the right direction. But I think this is it's interesting on how it's done. I think that it's only just going to help operators.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that there's so much more that the platform can do, and like you say, it's finding that balance between trying to run in 7 directions at once versus like trying to stay quite like narrowly focused, at least initially. So I'm trying to like bring in features that will be genuinely practically useful, like immediately, rather than stuff that will be
bloatware.
Yeah, it'll be bloated and confuse people, but in 3 years' time, it'll be like come to fruition or something. So I'm trying to be a bit more like, like sort of do the sort of stuff with immediate urgency, and just try and create a bit of a. Basically just a marketplace for that sort of stuff. So if that becomes the dominant place in the industry where people go to try and solve those problems, there's so much potential for what it could do. And hopefully it'll help lots of consultants.
I agree. Okay, so normally we'd throw in the applause now. So I'm going to remotely throw in the applause and press the button on the table. So I have some extra recordings of applauses. So I'll give you that. There you go. So we're going to hit to the end. This has been awesome, and it's really interesting to hear the way you've sort of flown into stuff has been really interesting. It's like this happened and then that happened and this happened. So the platform is you've sort of flown into that as well. Yeah. So the flow of your career has been quite nice, to be fair. So and doing those 3 venues in one is, I just feel for you. I could never go anywhere near it. But the final piece is the 3 questions. So best restaurant.
I am going to go with Bavette in Horsforth. It's my favourite local restaurant. We've probably been 5 or 6 times. It's only been open a year and a half maybe. Yeah. They got in the Michelin Guide pretty much straight away. Wow. It's basically a neighbourhood French bistro, and it doesn't try and be anything else. It just does that brilliantly. Like the 2 owners, Sandy and Clement, really, really nice guys. Like it's absolutely brilliant. I encourage anyone in the Leeds area to go to Bavette.
Bavette. Well, there's a new restaurant in Soho called Bavette. Sorry, Covent Garden opening, but it's more of like a brunchy place.
Oh, okay.
So Buvette.
So B-A-V.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I was like, oh, is it linked? Best burger.
I am going to go with. I don't eat burgers that much actually. My wife's vegetarian. I'm going to go with Burgerism in Manchester. Yeah. I think I've had them through delivery, but they've got physical stores now. But again, I know the guy that started that, I think about 10 years ago, a guy called Mark, really, really great sort of hospitality entrepreneur, and his burgers are amazing. Yeah. Burgerism.
Best hotel?
I'm going to say the Pig in Bath.
Okay.
Went there with a wedding gift voucher. We went last summer, and it was just so good. It was just, food's phenomenal. Yeah. It's just laid back, but really, really great service, and it's in beautiful settings. So literally 10 out of 10 in every category.
Amazing. Okay, 2 questions for the next guest.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay. Right. So number 1 is: will any tech provider crack the everything app for hospitality, or will we be still running our restaurants on 20 different platforms forever?
That's an interesting question.
And then the other one is the fractional thing a passing trend or a fad, or is it here to stay, and is it genuinely something that can sort of help our industry in a big way?
I think it's 100% here to stay. It's insane what it's doing at the moment.
Hopefully.
And literally, honestly, I literally spoke to someone else the other day who's just going in for a couple of days a week for marketing piece and another. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's people I know that are like sort of full time but not doing like work for like big groups. And then the 2 days a week they're not working, they're doing the fractional stuff. So have to really change it up. And also, it allows you to change the business up. So listen, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been awesome. And give everyone a wave goodbye. There we go.